Let's bring in the media writer for The Australian, Sophie Elsworth. Good to talk to you again, Sophie. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, Chris, and to your viewers.
Did you listen into RN Breakfast this morning, or have you got better things to do at the start of the day?
Well, given I'm media writer at The Australian, I need to be across my round, Chris, and I did tune in this morning to Patricia's first show, but I did have a chuckle to myself at her having a bit of a swipe at you. You're right. A lot of these journalists, when you label them of the left, they get very upset about it, and sometimes the truth hurts, Chris. So she's got a tough job to do. I wish Patricia all the best, but it'll be interesting to see how she goes in this job, because, as you know, a lot of people listen to that program every morning. Yep,
yeah, it's an important program, and she's a good broadcaster. But my point is, she's just like Fran. She's a green left activist, but that's what you expect at the ABC. I've got to raise something else with you that on that other very green left network, Channel 10, their program, The Project, and Lisa Wilkinson. This has caused a stir today. And understandably, I'll go to the grab of Lisa first. And what she's doing here is talking about a 24-day COVID isolation rule in New Zealand. But it's the comparison to Australia that is quite shocking. Have a look at Lisa Wilkinson on The Project.
Wowee, 24 days. I mean, if that doesn't give you an indication that Jacinda Ardern has looked across the ditch at our bin fire and gone, not doing that.
No.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow, it's all rosy in New Zealand and Australia's a bin fire? Is she serious?
Oh, look, Chris, Lisa Wilkinson never ceases to amaze me how she's constantly critical of Scott Morrison and the coalition government. But we know that she's a big fan of Jacinda Ardern, and Jacinda Ardern can do no wrong. But I find it quite insulting that Lisa Wilkinson goes on about how wonderful anyone in the Labor camp or Jacinda Ardern, the socialist, is doing a great job. I mean, it's easy for Lisa to say so, given she's living in a multi-million-dollar mansion down on Sydney's North Shore. I mean, she's, you know, not living in the real world, and I think she's been very critical. I mean, she was critical of Gladys, demanding that she resign and that she had this soft lockdown. You know, I think some of her comments just show she's totally out of touch with reality and has no grip on what a lot of Australians have faced during this pandemic, which is extremely tough times socially and economically.
Yeah, you're so right. I mean, she's been barracking for lockdowns and tougher restrictions, which are tough for people who have to work for a living or live in units or have kids that they need to manage. She's, you know, swanning around the pool on her mansion. There's no COVID crisis for her, popping into a TV studio every now and then. It is quite sickening, really, to wish that upon others. And it's not a bin fire in Australia. Australia's going reasonably well. Now, the other interesting article I thought in the media section today in The Australian was Ita Buttrose, turned 80. I mean, she's a fantastic example, I think, as John Howard was, of someone who at a senior age, if you like, is so active and smart and on their game, but 80 years old and run the ABC at a very, very difficult time.
Well, that's right, Chris. Ita Buttrose has got a big job on her hands. You and I both know incredibly well the ABC's been under a lot of criticism for its handling of many issues, including lawsuits, problematic programs, their handling of money at the broadcaster, them wanting more money. We're obviously in an election year. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the funding with the ABC. I'm not going to be ageist. I think it's great to see someone of Ita's age, you know, still working and working well, but she has got a tough job on her hands. And I think the ABC will again be under a lot of scrutiny this year because they've got a lot to answer for.
Great stuff, Sophie. Thanks for joining us. Sophie Elsworth there. She'll be joining us every Monday to talk media issues. She's a straight talker and all over it.